Welcome back, boys and girls. We're here once again with Blue Team versus Red Team. Blue Team will consist of Taco Bell, Two Step, KK Dog, The Mollusk, and Neon Cows. Across the way, we'll see Dougie, Fulfilled, Atrilix, Hammer Smiter, and XSOA. Now, as we've said before, this is a combine. These guys don't really know each other. Communication is very important, so we'll bring in the scout to listen to what they've got to say about these games and what they saw through the whole game. We'll go over the first 15 minutes and discuss what we can see out of these two teams, because the first 15 minutes, Smite is dictated by those to an extent, and you can normally get a feel for how people are playing and the decisions they're making, as well as itemization.
Yeah, once again, I do want to say that I do recognize a couple of people from Ranked. The Mollusk is a high-level player. I think he's really the only team player I really recognize. I think SOA and Dougie are the other two.
Well, the interesting thing about always to do with picks, like DM was bringing it up last game about whether you should be in the meta or not. I personally feel you should be playing your best gods, or if you feel comfortable on all gods, you should play to the meta. It depends what sort of style you're in for, and right in this game, you can see we're going to see a Scylla and a Nox in this game as well. Nox, one of those high damage dealing gods currently in the meta, as is Scylla, so the mid lane matchup would be an interesting one. But across the way, we see an Amuse and Carb. Now, that's something that's not very meta. I know Barracuda did it at Worlds, but it requires a certain team composition.
Yes,
and
it does.
looking at their team comp, it could work.
Yes, this is actually a team comp that I think can protect the AMC very well. But you also need to have, to play AMC, you have to have some of the best, not only positioning, but map awareness possible.
And you also have a team that's going to protect you
Yep.
is the key thing, and that's what that team's going to do by the looks of it.
Yeah, I do say the Scylla has the setup she needs in this team comp. I know I talked about it with Brandon earlier. You have the Tether stun. You also have the Thor, which I think is the most critical part to Scylla. And you also have an Athena taunt to really ring people into it and guide them into the I'm a Monster. So I think this team comp is literally perfect for Scylla.
So keep an eye on the two junglers at the start of this game. We saw two different sort of starts from this one. We saw Thor go for mid camps and blue buff them to his own red. Didn't even go to solo lane. And Osiris ended up being a 2v1 for the start. Bats is left at level 3. Thor is level 3 because he stole off mid lane. So you should expect to see Nox be a little bit ahead of Scylla in terms of experience. But then Osiris should be ahead of Herc.
Yes, that's very true. And the Thor still hasn't gotten his speed. And I'm a little surprised about that, considering that if you rotate early, you're really looking to split a wave, do red, split a wave, do speed, and they haven't really done that. I guess they're going to it now, though.
Yeah, with Scylla coming over here, they should both hit level 5 about the same time here. So they should be ahead of this other lane. They're just hit level 4 right now. Yeah, they're going to do back harpies and the speed buff straight after. They're going to be a little bit late to the lane, though, because of that. Oh, no, they're going to leave speed
Oh,
still
Thor
because
has red.
Thor has red, of course. Yeah,
Okay.
Thor took it at the start of the game.
I'm a little
So he's going to
surprised
leave
at
speed
that.
till later. It's a shame because if he drops speed now, he'll be level 5. They could look for a gank.
Yeah, not only that, but the Scylla at level 5 is going to be really important. Yeah, and you see the counter jungle coming out. The Hunbats recognizes that he has speed. No, it looks like he's going for a gank, maybe? So he just gave up the speed and looked for a gank, I guess, or just decided that he wasn't in position to steal it.
He was looking for speed, I think, in that
Yeah.
situation, but Nox gave the call out that they were rotating immediately. And obviously, Joe didn't have much pressure, so I can understand him changing his mind on that one. Makes sense, though. It's good to check on what the enemy team's going to do. You know, you can see if they're going to rotate and be well aware of your situation. I like his decision to go towards speed, and by not going there and, not making the mistake of being there, Thor's now got to waste his time trying to pick up the speed buff now. He's waiting around for it to tick over. He is 5, though.
Yeah, so he took both buffs there, and like I said earlier, I think I would have rather saw the... Oh, he's going up in the air. He's probably going to come out on this
Looking for
Nox.
Nox.
Scylla's up and I'm a Monster. There it goes.
That was a nice combo.
Oh, perfectly timed it to hit to immune the
Oh,
I'm
the
a
turnaround.
Monster.
The turnaround is huge.
Scylla's
That's
dead.
dead.
Scylla's dead. There's nowhere for her to go. That
He
was
is
really
dead.
good play by that Nox.
Dougie did that perfectly. The Shadow Barrier, his one, prevents the damage and reduced all that burst that came out. And the gank attempt was fantastic from Thor and Scylla. They set it up well. The comms were good for it. But individual play coming out from Dougie there secures it for his team.
Even little things like that. You saw that Dougie didn't want to rotate, wanted to stay for the mid, but really stayed next to that edge of the wall, and that allowed her to him to split that XP from the mid camps. So great play by Dougie.
Please from Blue Team, though, they went for right-hand Harpies. They took them. They didn't try and consider the left-hand Harpies at all in that situation. They weren't available to him. It would have been a 3v2. Instead, they took rights and made sure they split the camps evenly, even though they didn't have Scylla with them, which is a good call from good teams because the left-hand ones, the ones nearest the goal fury as we normally look at it, are always the ones that you'll most of the time see the big fight over.
You know, something interesting that you don't really see picked up a lot, especially by junglers, is the multi-pot coming out from the Mollusk. That's kind of a weird spot, right? Because you have the Bumba's Mask, it gives you that mana back, and you also get the health back. I mean, do you really think you need the multi-pot?
I think he wanted a health and a mana, but he elected for that Sentry Ward, and I'm a little confused. He put it there. That's actually where he put the Sentry Ward. Typically, isn't a standard ward spot that early on. We do see Ares all, and yeah, they're gonna have to pop their
early
beads, and I'm a
monster.
monster.
That was really nice from Ares. He's forced an early beads. He knows there's a 3 minute, so 180 cooldown, isn't it? Yeah, 3 minutes on the level 1 beads coming out from Thor. And with I'm a Monster down, it means that Nox can go aggressive now and not be scared of the all-in.
I think I would have rather saw the ult come out from Thor to immune. I don't know if it was down, but I think
Could have been down,
he's
I
not
think.
really in a position to gank anyone right now, and I think not having the ult. I think he should have taken the ult hit instead of the beat
Has
hit.
Hunbots not backed yet?
I don't think we have seen Bats go back to base.
No, he's
So
got
he's still
1800 in
south
hand.
of
He's
boots.
waiting for boots.
He's waiting
should
for
be
that
using
boost,
this
but you
a lot
know
earlier.
he's getting kind of aggressive in the jungle. He doesn't really have the same
Did he
damage
steal
that
that?
Thor has.
They did steal it, but now Thor's the one that's in trouble. Gonna
Yeah.
take
Oh,
to
is
the
the
sky
Nox all
away.
on Thor? I think it
Yeah,
is.
but he's
Think
just
it
gonna
is.
go out and immune it. It's not gonna be enough damage. Oh, he actually goes back in. Questionable
call to go back in,
decision.
but the
He actually
Fana
does
Weevil.
pick up 1 kill, but
I mean, I think a lot of that fight it comes down to the Hunbots really didn't have any of the mobility, the damage to really help his team enough there. All he was good for, I think, was that Fear No Evil ultimate, which
This
in
is what I'm
itself is
talking
very
about.
strong.
You know when I mentioned composure in the last game we commentated on?
Mhm.
This is teams that are trying to make plays to show off their skills, and some of them are just doing a bit too much than they should be doing.
Yeah.
They're too busy trying to get kills and not focusing on the plays that they should be doing.
Right.
That's what that team fight was sporadic. The blue was down. What are we fighting over?
Right.
It's farming lanes, you know. It's early game. You should be farming. You should be getting gold. You should not be like having these crazy sessions over on right hand side. There's no gold fury over there. They really need to think and compose themselves.
yeah, that's
But-
also some pretty important ults down for these mid camps.
Exactly. So why use your ults there? Why not just back out, wait for the mid camps, and then fight again at them?
Yeah, and you know we see 4 people here at mid camps for the red team, and we don't
Oh,
don't
I don't.
see
I don't know what that Thor just did.
anybody really contesting the mid camps for the blue team.
Yeah,
Thor looked like he wanted to gank the Apollo and then decided not
but
to.
he doesn't have his
and-
ult. Like
and-
he either
yeah.
needed to ult, he needed to have his ult to gank, or he just needed to back off and contest mids, and
Mhm.
he did neither really.
Right.
It's indecisiveness, and he just wasted 40 seconds doing nothing.
Right.
Well, it's red team that are on the aggression now. No, I want to talk back to that Sentry Ward.
He
that you
hears this
mentioned.
going on. This Hunbats
Yeah,
can hear
he
this
knows.
over the wall. Oh,
Surprised
hog
Ares
before it
doesn't
was
come.
done. The 3 steals it.
Oh my
Early
god.
hog.
Does get it with the 3.
That was
Nicely done from Humbats.
really good awareness coming out there, knowing that the Thor was on the blue buff. He peeked the corner, as Adonis would say, and he
That's
saw
jungle
that the
knowledge,
hog was
though.
used. Yeah.
That's jungle knowledge
Yeah.
from the Humbats coming out, because if his red buff is up, the speed buff should be up about relatively the same time or similar. So he should be very, very aware of that. That's good jungle knowledge and a good decision to invade there from him. I like that coming out from the Humbats.
Yeah, this is some really good camp splitting. I don't. The 3
Thor's going up in the air, looking at the solo lane.
Okay, so
Hercules,
the
though.
Osiris just had poked him out, and the Thor just came and cleaned up.
You know,
This should be a Gold Fury attempt
Yeah.
right now coming out from Red Team. I'd look to go aggressive here because Osiris is low and Thor's ult's down. They have an opportunity to do it. They've just put a sentry down at that Gold Fury, so I don't understand why they're just not going for it. I mean, Bats has ultimate available. That's an opportunity missed.
So-
It looks like he went to farm. Yeah, he went to farm solo.
yeah, and the Apollo really didn't have lane control there, so sometimes you get afraid to lose that little bit of farm to go for the Gold Fury. You think that you have to clear that wave to maintain your levels when you could get that Gold Fury and help your whole team out.
Yeah, and also added on to that, even if you don't go for Gold Fury, you should be setting up for a dive because that's Osiris ult down. Osiris can't fight, and that's going to be the Thor ult down. You should immediately react and either look to counter jungle, and if there's nothing to counter jungle, look for the Gold Fury or look for kills.
So in the end, I ended up going in blue team's favor
Yep.
because they didn't manage to get anything else out of that. Humbats continues to farm though. I like Humbats' decision making for the most part. I'm really concerned about the fact that he didn't go back to base at the start though and spend that gold. He should have done that. It could have helped him out a lot more. He can't sit on that much gold and not put it to use. It will come back to haunt him if he got more serious.
When he did back, he had enough to buy full boots, and he elected to go with boots 2 and beads. Do you think that was the right decision?
I think Beads with the composition he's against a Scylla with Cripple and Root. He's against a Thor with Wall, and the Dunk he's against an Athena with Taunt. I definitely agree that he should have definitely picked up the Beads
Right.
there. I think it was the right call personally. What do you guys think? I mean, do you think differently?
You know, I almost would like to see the aggression come out from him. He could really protect himself with the fear no evil in the early game if that's what it comes down to. You know, you have the reaction time to be able to use that all when the Thor's all seeing you. There's a lot of ways to avoid that damage, but at the same time, if you get picked, you get picked. The beads really could help.
Yeah,
out.
I think the beads were definitely the safe standard pickup there. I mean, the team has an Athena and a Thor. Beads weren't.
I think
beads are important.
I think if these players all knew each other a little bit better, the Ares could have made sure that they popped
That
beads
was-
on everybody. So that's
That was the
Pick something.
perfect Thor combo.
Can we roll that back a
Rewind.
little bit? And
Roll it back.
Auto canceling and all. Like that was the perfect Thor combo.
because you know the Athena even used her
I'll
ult.
take a
That
few.
was a 4-man gank, in sense with that Athena ult coming out, and it was just pretty much deleted instantly. The Apollo had nothing he could do.
well, how does this happen? Like it should be coming up soon.
Well, right now it's on the screen. We see
Yeah.
the Thor dunk come out,
Got a
the
stinger.
AMC stinger
Stop the
come out,
moves.
and there's just literally nothing he could do. It was
Yeah, no.
instantly deleted. Very.
Can you rerun
very
it one
good
more
game.
time for me? I apologize for asking you for one more rewind.
That's fine.
Because it'll just take a while. Keep it on the wheel. Slow it down when we get towards the fight. You can fast forward now because we've got a little bit of time.
Mm-hmm.
Because you see the sentry come down. Then my interesting point here is the sentry from Amuse and Cobb. That's presence of mind for the gank coming. But when we get to this bit here, will you slow it down when Thor's just about to go up in the air about now? Would be great. I want to see Trilix's decision making here. I don't understand what is he going to go ward again? He knows there's a sentry there. Why is he this far up? I think this is a misplay from Trilix, honestly. He should not be this far up when he knows there's a sentry ward in that area. There's no reason for him to be there at the moment. I don't know why he's so far up, honestly. Sentry ward, though, from Amuse and Cobb, I really like the call-up. You can carry it on now. I was just waiting to see what Apollo was thinking about doing here. You don't want to trade against an Amuse and Cobb as Apollo. It's not the greatest trade in the world.
Mm-hmm.
But
He
they
got
punish
stunned
him
out
for it.
mid dash too.
Yeah,
that
They
was just,
punish him for it.
Yeah.
it was a great play coming out. It really was.
They should really be looking to maybe not necessarily. Oh, they're actually going to force it here. Hamed jumped over. He's committed to this fight.
Oh, the taunt hits.
You know, we talked about the beads, and he used the beads and still got hit by Amma Monster. That is very unfortunate. That's pretty much a misplay coming out from
AMC's doing
Hunbots.
work.
This
he's
Athena
gonna go
needs to
down to
get out
Nox.
because there's no way Nox isn't. Oh, I lied.
Oh my god, AMC's getting out. No, he's not.
No, he walked back in.
Because he's
He was
Nox.
trying to. He ran into the Ares on the other side, who did a great job of covering his option, and then realized he had run the wrong way. Tried to cut
Yeah.
back, and then the Nox finished him off. Apollo's in the air. He's just gonna. He should pick up this kill unless he's low on mana when he lands.
He is
Oh, he missed
semi-low.
the
He's
one.
used the
He missed the
moves,
So
So he's
Beautiful.
used the So Beautiful. That should be in get up. But Chains? No, he'll get it with the autos. Two-step. Just juked around too much, I think, on
So
that
just
one.
a note on that last fight, Nox hit a 3-man ult, which just really sets up so much for your team. It's pretty much like that 5-second silence where the other team can't do anything, and then they're getting stunned at the end of that duration. Overall,
Yeah.
pretty strong play coming out from Nox.
Yeah, I'm a pretty big fan of Dougie this game so far.
Dougie's played really well from the outset. I mean, you saw that very first gank from Thor that just gave him first blood for himself. He turned that one nicely around. I like Hammerfall as well. Sorry, Hammer Smiter is his name. That decision you were talking about there about covering the option is something that gets said but doesn't really get explained very much. Covering the option is where you make sure you cut off the routes of escape, their opportunity to escape from the situation. And his decision there just to stand there and be the threat made sure that Amuse and Cobb lost his life. And he gave the kill over to Nox. He probably could have taken it himself in fairness, but he didn't have to because he just covered the option and zoned them into the path of danger.
The Hunbat stole the speed once again, but his jump is down. He's in a
No, he
very
didn't get it that
bad
time.
position here. The Apollo's here. Fear No Evil comes out, and that did
They
a
can
lot
kill
of
this.
damage. They're not doing enough right now.
Oh, good blinking from Ares there. It's going to pull the chains in because the bead should be down thanks to the Humbat Salt. Nox turns up for the cleanup as well, though. Backwards and forwards fight. I really like Hammer Smiter this game. He's playing great.
Yeah, I think he's doing a great job. We actually do have the one and only Scott Gandhi coming in here. So, Scott, you scouted out this game. Give us your thoughts. Who impressed you the most?
I would have to say Dougie. Dougie, off the beginning, I watched him like survive a Soa ult that I was like, oh, there's no way he actually timed the shield perfectly like that. But the entire time I thought his positioning was good. And then Hunbat's early on, I mean, he's not known as an early game god at all, but as the game progressed, he baited Ares so well in so many team fights that I was like, he gets it. He understands that he has to wait for Ares to initiate, and then he comes in, fear no evil, and then they can't use beats. So he's actually viable then.
Yeah, Thor and Hunbats kind of serve the same purpose in these gods that are really team fight oriented,
Yep.
as opposed to the Kali Serket, who are very assassin. I'm going to go and I'm going to blow up a target and then switch targets, whereas Thor and Hunbats can do a lot for their team.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of seeing the Thor's early game, especially all day in the combat. I mean, Thor's been such a hot pick, which I'm surprised they're not banning him, which is something that's kind of unusual to me. I figured Thor, after SWC and just how strong he is in general, would be like the #1 ban early on. That's like not a thing.
Because he is the best god early game outside
Yeah.
of maybe Thanatos, but his mid game and late game, he's more of a setup god. He's not individually as strong. So players may, in this combine type thing where it's not necessarily all about the team, it's kind of
So
you
that
wanna
right there was a
showcase yourself.
perfect. That right there was a perfect example. So Ares comes in, no escape comes down, and then you're seeing as Hunbats then waits afterwards, and he's like, okay, Fear No Evil on top of that. Which one are you going to choose the beads? And he comes in, he continues to aggress, and Dougie's positioning has been flawless this entire game. He gets it. There's a lot of times where up-and-coming players, or just any player in general, when you get a mage, especially like Nox, right, you don't really know where to position yourself, and he's always very careful. He's always in the back, kind of just waiting to make his move, and then he comes in using his ultimate, and his zone's good too.
Yeah, we actually do see the red team secure that, and that was a very all-in moment, and blue team wasn't able to pick up anything.
Nah, not at all. But I mean, did they really have any business going there? I mean, they didn't have Thor, they didn't have Scylla. If you're going to contest like a Gold Fury, you kind of need...
Yeah, you don't really want an AMC to go in who has no escape to get out once you're in. They were committing to, we're gonna both die, but we want to steal it, and that probably wasn't worth the risk.
If they steal it, they get the gold lead though. That's my look at that one. They would have had the gold lead in that situation. It would have come back and helped them out a lot more.
Yeah, but
Sorry,
it
they would.
Yeah,
have given the
you
gold
think
lead,
that's
so I'm
worth?
lying. I think realistically, to get yourself back into the game at the moment, red team are combining very, very well. I think honestly, from the red team, the Nox, the Hunbats, and the Ares are really showing amazing things to me right now. The only one I can't really say much about on red team right now is Hercules, just because it's a farm lane against an Osiris.
it's kind of hard to notice who's.
He's doing his job.
Did you watch
to an
the Soul
extent,
Lane at
but
all,
he's using his
Scott?
talent.
A little bit. I mean, most of the time when I'm watching Hercules versus Osiris, it's just a trade into a trade into a trade with just damage being mitigated everywhere with Runeforge. So I didn't really watch much of it. But I mean, it was consistent. I mean, Hercules, this is my favorite play right there. The Ares was just like, yeah, screw it, I'm hitting
He
4.
was cheering. He was cheering. That's what he was doing. He was just
Dougie
like, yeah,
has
we're winning the
800
game.
XP per minute. That's
Dude,
incredible. That is beyond incredible. He is
he's-
farming so efficiently, both in lane and splitting camps with this Hunbats.
Dude, he played amazing the entire time. I mean, Scylla's known for being weak early. Like, that's kind of like what everyone knows her for. And so
sure.
when going against a Nox, like, he abused her. I mean, she's a level 12 right now,
Yeah,
staring down
five behind at
17.
15 minutes.
And look at this. What, she doesn't even have Bancrofts finished. And then you look over at Nox, and Nox is like, well, I got Bancrofts, I got my pen boots, and by the way, could be Kronos here.
I don't really like this decision from Hunbats. That was a very greedy play. When
Yeah.
he jumped in, he was committing to dying, and he is worth way more gold than the AMC.
So this right here, this kind of spot here, when I watched Apollo take to the skies and come crashing down, I was like, okay, you know, they might be able to get something going out of this. But then he like kind of stays around in the fight for like no reason, and you never want to put yourself in that spot versus a Thor, in my opinion, right? Because there's any time where you can just come in, he hits a double tap, follows up with a tectonic, it's like, oh, you're dead. I mean,
Yeah.
the Thor's pretty fed. Or not fed, but I mean, he's got Jotuns on, so he's going to do a decent amount of damage.
I mean, as long as he saves his mesmerize, he'll be fine against the Thor, unless there's others in the area, obviously. All right, Gandhi, thanks for joining you. We're I think we've kind of got the flow of this game and who we need to look out for. We're gonna get another game
Old
set
Dougie.
up. So Hindu, final thoughts.
Final thoughts in this one. I mean, most of the players on red team stood out to me individually. Dougie made an interesting play at the start of the game. Hammer Smiter, I'd like to see him in the future, but I'd like to see his defensive Guardian plays too, because obviously Ares is one of those that is a very, very aggressive support. It'd be interesting to see what he can do on the likes of Geb, on the likes of Athena. Well,
Yeah,
Athena,
he just
semi-aggressive
2v1
too.
in the middle.
I mean, at the moment, he's an aggressive
Yeah.
support, so aggressive supports are a different
No,
kettle
that's
of
what,
fish
that's what he's supposed
to
to be
the
doing.
others. Yeah, he's doing the job that he needs to, but what else can he do with the support role? It'd be interesting to see. Across the way, though, I think Neon Cows and Taco Bell Taco Bell's done a really good job in that lane. He's rotated more than the Hercules as well, in fairness, in that solo lane. I have seen him try to rotate to support his team more. And Neon Cow's the only time I've really seen him really properly out of position was when he went for the Gold Fury steal with Athena ultimate
Yep,
on him.
for sure.
That was the only time he did that.
Considering he's AMC against an Ares, he's done a very good job of not dying.
Positioning is
Yes.
very, very important on an AMC, and he's done a good job. Even though his team has not had the greatest performance from them as a whole, he's done good work. So I'm quite pleased from what I've seen out of those two as well.
All right, thank you, Hindu. We're going to get the next game set up, guys, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Welcome back once again. This is Blue versus Red, or Team Fire Giant versus Team Nox on your screens. Here you go from the blue team. We're going to see Grumbags, and King, Acrylics, Balthazar, Apillo. It's always good to see an Apillo. Roasted Napkins, That Phil Guy, Neon Raptor, Shaq Diesel, and Air Cougar are going to be making up these two teams for this one of the combines. The scouts have had a look through this one. We're going to watch the first 15 minutes and discuss what we see and any notes that the scouts may have brought to us as well.
So, like always, we're going to take a look at kind of the players that we've seen in ranked before, as Chalk's getting a little frisky there. I have seen most of Red Team. I've seen That Phil Guy, Shaq Diesel, Roasted Napkins, Neon Raptor, and Air Cougar most notably has played. I believe he played some SPL matches for Thirst as well, Peckies.
Yeah, you know, he has. He's a very experienced player, and it's gonna be interesting to see what he could do. Maybe he's gonna rally this team, and they're gonna be really dominant.
I'm
That's
looking through the
outside
game
of
right now.
Adonis, that's outside of the map, by the way.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Don't see any Athena wards. Oh, I see one. I apologize. She only bought one ward, and it's a defensive one at the mid Harpies in case of an invasion onto speed buff. It did give enough vision to let her know that Sylvanas had started at the mid camps as well. So she doesn't need that second one. But if there's a fast rotation out of Bastet, this could be punished in this duo lane for the blue team. Because if Bastet rotates over early and the push goes for them, actually no, I'm okay. I'm okay with Athena's decision because they're going to get pushed in all the time because it's a Sylvanas lane. So they don't need that ward as much because they should be under their own tower realistically.
Yeah, Sylvanas is definitely the strongest Guardian in laning phase at the very least. There's not much you can do to contest. The only thing this dual lane is going to have to worry about is this first wave, and they are fine. They're not getting pressured at all.
Now this is the only thing about blue team now is they should not push up this wave. If they push up this wave, they have the threat of Bastet because they've not put the ward down. So it'll be interesting to see what they choose to do. They should stay at least in the middle because they don't have that ward
Bastet
coverage.
just appeared in middle, but the call should be coming out that she's rotating now to that speed or to gank. And they're
can't
trying.
help.
They're just losing in dual lane in general.
Ooh, that pluck was really close. That
And they lose speed buff as well. So that blue buff gave vision of this. Carly shouldn't even be rotating around there right now. It's pointless. They should know it's gone because the mid laner came too. That's what Isis is great at early on. She's got great wave clear in the mid lane. She can invade jungles because of that and keep the mid laner pressured.
I mean, this is just what Red Team should be doing. I mean, look at their team. Like, you have the Sylvanas and Duo, so their team's going to be pushed up. In addition, you have an Isis versus an Ascilla. So Isis, one of, if not the best levels 1 through 3 for a mid laner. Scylla, one of the worst. And then you have Bastet, who's incredibly strong early with that ability damage, where Kali's kind of weak, needs items to get online. So they pressured exactly like they needed to.
I think Kali overall probably should have rotated a lot earlier out the lane because she knew her lane matchups. As a jungler, you should really be thinking about what your laners are going to be against. So Isis versus Scylla is going to be hard pushed. You're going to need to go to mid lane earlier, which means you could get invaded on. Your duo lane is against the Sylvanas. They're going to get pushed, which means nobody can cover your speed buff. You should probably rotate out of that solo lane earlier than you did.
So you saw a Sylvanas just try and pull and Athena, and I don't really like that. They were at the edge of the tower. They're not gonna kill anyone. And Sylvanas is kind of mana intensive in the fact that you're using your abilities pretty often, and wasting mana and that huge cooldown on that pool for something that you're gonna get barely any poke off of is kind of greedy.
Don't know what Bastet was doing there mid so long. I mean, she's level 5. She pushed the wave. She tagged them all, so she.
I don't like this back. I don't like this back at all. This is a very poorly timed back.
She's 320 when they come up generally, so she should be okay. In theory, she's got speed buff.
But the thing is, you also want to consider positioning. You always want to have superior positioning before the mid camps even spawn, so if anyone comes, you can poke them out.
That's very, very true indeed. Well, mid camps are going to spawn. No rotations from support share. You can see them happening. Apollo, because he's pushed up, he's going to come on this rotation. I like this call from Apollo to come too. It's not often you see the Hunters always do this, but now that they've got the pusher and her can't come, this could be a big fight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we see the Osiris rotate in from solo as well, and I'm not sure who those right camps went to, but the left ones went to the red team, and now they're looking to initiate this fight.
Oh.
Huge 3-man taunt into Ama Monster.
Ooh, great I'm a Monster, but great Ice Assault as well.
Yeah.
But
Composure.
yeah, just not going to be able to. I'm a Monster
I-
hit, but no one was really in position to follow up.
I think at the end of the day, it just came down to the red team was in position. Anher wasn't really in position to fight. Chalk was nowhere to be found, and the red team was a solid 5, and they were ready to fight.
Well, Osiris did the right thing. He pushed Jack into tower early,
Mm-hmm.
which means he could rotate. So the whole of red team was at mid camps then. Did they get split in the end, those mid camps?
I wasn't. Oh, we can rewind here. I'm pretty sure that
You said right went to red. Yeah.
lefts went to red.
Left went to red.
So Osiris rotated, and then Akali had to jump over the wall. I'm not sure if she secured them though. She was
Yeah,
like,
I think that's important.
yeah. So let's
know.
take a look at this. So they're coming. Kali's in position for it, but she has to back off because she can't fight Bastet and Osiris coming down. Yeah. So they were able to
If you
secure
pause,
both of
pause
them.
just now, you can see the
Oh,
red team grouping is huge.
Red team picks up both mid camps that right there.
Which you should expect coming out from that. Because
Yeah.
of 5-man rotation turns up.
Yeah, I mean,
Athena gets as a casualty of war as well. So First Blood goes over to red team as well because of that. They should have gone Golf Fury here.
I'm really
right now, that
surprised.
should have been a Golf Fury call.
yeah. Looking at it, Chalk is still right. They knew he was there. Minions had vision on him.
I'm a Monster was down. Kali
I'm a
was
Monster
low.
was down. Athena was out of the fight as well.
I don't think they would have got it, but at the very least, they could have baited blue team into
Well,
a
kills.
bad position. Yep, and looked for the
Mhm.
kills.
It was quite possible, quite potential for them. Also, Desert Fury was down on her in that, I'm pretty sure as well.
No,
I
he
think
didn't use it in the.
No,
I'm
he
actually
didn't do that.
surprised. I'm a Monster hit, and they were all pretty grouped, but
Yeah.
he was actually in an okay position to use it. But I still don't think that would have turned the fight. He probably should have let it loose though.
Mm-hmm. I agree. That pen would have helped out a lot to actually it would have done nothing. I'm a liar because there was no physical there.
Okay,
true.
interesting decision coming out from Sylvanas here. Sylvanas got his tier 2 boots and he's gone for a straight Hog 3. Now, the issue I have with going for the Hog 3 at this stage as a support player is that you have to abuse the fact you're getting it early for the
Yeah,
Golf Fury. If
I
you're
don't-
not, you're setting off your Midas boots too long, and that means that the other support technically gets ahead. So they have to do Golf Fury soon before Midas boots gets online for Athena. Keep an eye on that, guys, because that's quite important to note on that. This could be a misplay from Sylvanas if his team do not do Golf Fury.
Definitely very risky play, so to speak. And now that the Athena ult is online, that pretty much guarantees that she could be there for any Gold Fury that the team goes for, unless they try to bait that Athena out with a solo lane game.
This Kali has enough for boots. She really needs to do this speed and then back. She needs to get those boots online, and she mistimed a little bit there. You can see, and now we see
Should've
some
been doing
pressure
backhands,
over
yeah.
in duo.
Clearly
Walker was
that
slacking.
Sylvanas is. They want this Gold Fury. They have the Bastet early. They have the Isis all early, which will
I don't
really
know what
help
this
them.
Kali's doing.
Yeah.
She's gonna be able to ult, but that was incredibly risky with all of them there. She's gonna get out, but she kind of baited her team a little bit.
I'm a
The Isis got
monster.
baited, and let's.
That's
Oh,
pretty much
no.
clean up.
Apollo
should get
Apollo
Kali.
did not hit it.
Bastards should get Athena. They should go Golf Fury right now. That Hog 3 is available to use. They should be using that. Why they all rotate mid, they should be a Golf Fury from the team.
I'm a Monster's down. Chalk's not there. Athena ult
They
down.
have a Hog 3. Why
It's
would they not do it?
that.
It's a
Yeah.
free gold.
They should. I don't know who. Obviously, they
They're
could
going
not
now.
have a single shot caller on the
Okay,
team.
so the call gets made, but it's very, very late.
Yes.
I'm glad they finally did it, but it should have been sooner.
Definitely.
They can still do this, even if they lose 2 lives, it's still relatively worth for their team.
I think they're gonna get this without losing too much. Honor does have Desert Fury available. Crush comes out, but hits no one really in the area. They're just gonna get that for free.
Now Anher's in a bit of trouble. He's gonna use his Desert Fury, but it's just not enough damage yet. He doesn't.
Oh,
He's
have
slowed.
anything.
Full
Doing a good
miss.
job, though. Wow.
He might get
Chips
out
good.
because blue team's rotating to help him. We actually see Athena dash in. She's looking for a taunt, but she doesn't really want to waste it on Sylvanas. She ends up doing it. Sylvanas should die here, and red team really can't help
Good
him. But they
pillar.
got gold. They got gold.
They did get goal, but I think Anher played that to the best of his ability. He knew he could contest a Golf Fury himself alone. He knew they were doing it. Scylla had nothing available. Scylla tried to help with it as well, but Anher did a good job of escaping that.
Anher's done a great job of jousting this Apollo. Considering, I mean, Anher's obviously going to win this in God matchup, but considering Air Cougars played in the SPL, he's doing a great job of staying even.
So
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy with his play so far from what he's chosen to do. Mid-camp's going on once again.
This actually could
bit
be
of
a great
contest.
bait. He needs.
Oh, I should.
I'm a Monster was up. I think that was a fight they wanted. They just didn't position themselves properly.
yeah.
I mean, if Carly went in with the ultimate there with the Athena roll on top, then they would have got damage off. I'm a Monster could have come down as well. But it's miscommunication.
Yeah,
I
it was
think,
probably
between the
just
team.
poor communication, and that's unfortunately what's going to happen in these combines sometimes. Oh, they reset
course,
the
I mean-
mid camp. That was.
Mistakes were made.
Mm-hmm.
But
Can
once
you-
again, Carl.
How do
Sorry?
you feel about the ward coverage coming out on the left side of the map right now?
This is the first time we've seen blue side really have ward coverage on the map. In fairness, it's generally been dominated by red since the very start of the game. Red put out every single ward down for the most part.
Right.
So this is the first time we've seen blue with the ward coverage, but there's no reason to have that much coverage now
Right.
because there's no Gold Fury threat available.
Right. So it's a little bit of gold wasted there. I mean, you still want some of those wards to be up, right? You don't want to get caught out of position by a Bastet in the jungle as, you know, an Athena or even an Anhur. It's just very hard to deal with sometimes. So it doesn't hurt, but they have these very aggressive wards, right? At like the red buff, for example. Do you think that they could even utilize that kind of information right now?
I mean, right now they know that she's at the red buff area, so can they go aggressive in the solo lane? Well, potentially, yes. What they should be doing is Carly should be looking at that and looking for the rotation to try and put pressure elsewhere on the map where they know Bastet's not going to be.
Right.
But talking about solo lane as well, this Chak at the moment, I'm just checking out player damage. Chak's only got 900 player damage right now. In a lane matchup where it should be a fighting lane to the most part. It's an even lane. There's not a whole lot you can do, but when you
He
throw in the
seems
axe out,
pretty
you should be dealing damage.
He seems pretty scared to fight. I mean, you saw him just throw out the axe and then
Yeah.
immediately back up there. I mean, he's just healing up. The Osiris is just. I mean, he's staying even, obviously, because Chalk has that self heal, but he seems very scared.
They're not fighting as much in that lane as you'd expect, and that's why you can see his damage is a lot
I mean,
lower,
Osiris has top damage, so he's
That's what I
fighting.
mean.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Is that like Chak's just playing very defensively in this lane. He's not really like his axes should be trying to hit minions at the same time as the Osiris. He should be getting free poke off at him anyway at all times. But it doesn't feel that's his game plan at all. Instead, he's just trying to farm to the best of his ability and hold the lane.
Kali secures her first speed of the game, but they're in a lot of trouble here.
But they are in a lot of trouble because the cats are coming down soon. I can see that one coming. This Anhur's playing really well. He might die for this one finally because cats are OP, but
Ooh, I'm a
No.
monster. Got the reset, but I wouldn't really go back in on this. I'd hit the. Yeah, that was smart of her. She can't really commit to that. She's not gonna have the damage to burst any one of them. Just hits it and then backs off.
So on the tail end of that fight, we saw the Bastet cats, come out onto the Anhur, and Kali was there in her ultimate, and the Anhur ran away from her and wasn't able to provide the help to kill those cats and maybe potentially stay alive there. A little bit of miscommunication.
Yeah, once again, Red's gonna dominate. I think both mid camps here. They can't really contest these rights with Kali backing and Scylla having no I'm a monster.
I'm just looking through Blue Team's decision making now. They have finally awarded their own speed buff this invasion, and I think that's the reason why they secured their own speed buff this time round. Because that should have been done on the second one, because when an enemy team invades your buff, you expect them to invade it again the second time. And so you either defend it or you prepare yourselves for it with the war coverage available. And it took the third time for them to really get it online. Could have been a bit sooner, but I'm glad they're realizing that they need to do that.
This is
to
a
give
good
themselves an
rotation from
opportunity.
Bastet. She was looking
Ward,
for it,
so-
but the ward spotted her out. Yeah.
Defensive wards. See, these wards that are coming out from Blue Team now are all very deep in their own jungle. This shows signs that they're up against it right now and they're having a rough time. This war coverage should actually be on the other side of the Gold Fury, on the enemy side of the map really, to keep vision of Bastet's rotation through anywhere so she can't get to your side of the map at all. But instead, she's got free reign past the mid-harpies now because of the wards.
Yeah, I mean, these team comps, I do like Blue Team's composition a little bit more late game, simply because they have the Kali, and Kali late game is so good. And I don't think that... Ooh, nice pull by the Sylvanas there.
Not really a lot of follow-up for it, though. The Apollo...
Oh, yes there is.
I guess
Yes, there is
I
follow-up.
guess There is another
There's an
follow-up
Apollo.
there.
Nice play from Cougar.
Yeah.
I really think that was a good decision from him. He's going to manage to secure 2 kills.
Yeah, I
think Gold Fury again now,
Mhm.
but Scylla's on the way.
Yeah, they have Kali here
Kali.
for a stun, and the ultimate combo. Oh! I'm a Monster was a little bit late there. She's waiting for the
Was
setup. There it is. Oh, she still missed it.
No.
Even if the Scylla didn't move, even if the Kali didn't move, she would have missed that. That's very unfortunate.
Scylla's actually not playing the worst in the world though. Like I like her decision making. She's not scared to turn for the cripple combo. She's doing good damage. She hasn't died yet. Her damage and overall, let's just have a quick look at the player damage. Yeah, she's second on player damage right now. So you notice her positioning. She realizes her cooldowns. She's getting out every time.
Yeah, I think she really needed that alt
Good
reset
play from Chuck.
though to make an
Chuck
impact.
actually defended the red buff. He saw Osiris rotate, defended it well. So he's secured the red buff for his team. But
Yeah. Osiris
now he's
should
starting
be
to fight
okay.
though. Have you noticed? Look at him. He's fighting finally.
Yeah, but the Osiris should be okay. The Chuck can't really chase him down. There's too many slows coming out from Osiris for Chuck to keep it up. And the red team does a great job. All of them do a great job of rotating to protect the Osiris. Mid camp's
Oh.
coming up on left in a minute.
Yeah, we got mid camps in a minute. The game obviously again looks like it's going to go in red team's favor for the most part, at least in these early stages of it. But for you, like from what you've seen, who's the standout one so far?
I think red team overall has been doing a great job as a team, more so than individual stars. Like really showing a lot for me. I do like the Bastet. The Bastet's done a great job of abusing the fact that she's just better than Kali early. Stole the first 2 speed buffs and is actually going to steal the, I think, 4th one. The 3rd or 4th out of the 4 that have spawned.
Oh, Anher gets out again in that little engagement. I like Anher's positioning, seems to be pretty good. He's getting himself out of trouble a lot of time. He realizes how to dodge an ability, which is, it sounds really stupid to say, but dodging ability, being able to work out what range you need to be at is very, very, it's an important skill.
It's one of the most important. That's why you see players like, if you watch the SWC, Zapman, when he had some of the craziest jukes I've seen, probably, he probably played better in that show match during the SWC than most of his SPL games.
Yep. Well, that's one of the unique things about Smite, right? Is you have this other skill gap that people could excel at, and it might sound silly, but being able to be unpredictable in a sense is something that a lot of people lack.
Interested about this play on the left-hand side now because
Great, Mez.
they've gone very, very deep in here. Kali might be able to make something like, oh, the passive from Sylvanas kicks in. And once again, Pillow knows when he's done. I actually really like this player, Pillow. He's not having the team's not having a great game, but his individual decision-making along with Scylla's, I think, are the only strengths of this team right now. That they're the two that I would really pick from blue team. Is
Yeah,
Scylla.
great turnaround. That was a really good turnaround for blue team there. They noticed that there was only the Air Cougar, for whatever reason, was pushed up really far. Did they cross the wards? Did you notice if they crossed the wards there?
You know, I wasn't paying attention to that. If you
Don't
want to
think
roll
they
it back,
did.
we could.
Yeah,
we
let's
could
roll it
see.
back. I kind of want to see if Air Cougar was paying attention in that. Air Cougar and then Sylvanas. Because they kind of just walked up to him and got the gank off.
Well, can you fast forward any quicker? Because it's going to be a long wait, I think, for this rotation, for that fight on the duo side that happens. There we go. Getting there eventually.
Oh, no, she countered the red and came from above the lane. That's
That's right.
interesting.
He came all the way around the back. There was something they did see Scylla
They
coming
did
though.
see
They
Scylla.
did see
They
Scylla.
stayed aggressive with Scylla coming out. And Isis is
Very
rotating,
brave.
so I'm assuming the Isis is calling it. That was just poor map. I think the thing is the second that Scylla crossed the ward is when Kali came, so they were focused on what was happening in front of them and weren't able to really notice it. I hope that that was up to the Isis to call it out and them to listen. So I don't know what happened there, but they definitely weren't aware of the Scylla coming on.
So guys, we have the scout from this game, Bagel 500. He is a, pretty active Smite community member and a very high-level ranked player. And we're gonna get some of his feedback on this game and see what his thoughts are. Bagel, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. So, looking at this game, we have Roasted Napkins, we have Air Cougar, Shaq. Who do you think is really performing and bringing this team together?
Well, I heard Adonis say it was really a team effort, but while it was, I think Eric Cougar really outshined everybody in this game. You had great rotations, great aim all game, and just really played really well.
Okay. I mean, Adonis, Hindu, do you guys agree with that? Do you think that Eric Cougar has been
I think his
playing great? Or...
I didn't really watch him like in the lane joust off against the Anher, but I will say his rotations were on par. Both times he rotated led to Gold Furies.
And rotations are all about map awareness too, which means he's constantly looking at the map as well as farming well to keep himself in a decent position. I mean, he's got a 2-level lead on Anher at the moment at the 16-minute mark. He realizes when he should be trading and when he shouldn't be, so he's showing off well. But Bagel, apart from like Cougar, was there anyone else that like shined for you in these games?
Not all game, but Bastet had really good map control in the early game.
Yep.
So did
Speed buffing
Isis.
played.
Sylvanas had really good teamfight ultimates. Scylla had some really good picks with the I'm a Monster. Missed a few abilities, but overall, especially with the ultimate, got a really necessary picks.
Yeah, one thing I want to note about map control on that Bastet, I don't know, because we were kind of talking over it. When Air Cougar got ganked by that Scylla and the Isis rotated, the Bastet realized she couldn't really get there, and she dropped her cats on mid tower and was able to take that tower and gain really a good portion of the map in control of Red Team's favor.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah,
That was a pretty good play.
Yeah, that was very smart of her.
It's a smart play to realize that if you're not going to make it to a team fight, you've got to get an objective elsewhere. That's exactly what she did. Yeah, I mean, from this game standpoint, it seems quite interesting. Like, you know, from the teams that have come forward, I can see like a couple of players in each team that stand out for me personally.
Yeah, this game's a little close, Bagel. Is there anything that really goes on in late game that we should be looking for, or should we move on to the next game before we get deeper into this?
The rest of the game is pretty much not many rotations, and Air Cougar becomes, well, an actual ADC and just kills people.
Full
Okay.
gold, pretty much. Yeah.
All right. Thanks for. We'll watch this last team fight, Bagel. Thanks for joining us. I'll let you guys get back to scouting, and we'll throw it to a quick break after we see if anything interesting happens here.
All right.
Really good ultimate from Sylvanas again
Yep.
to secure the Gold Fury for himself.
So I think we said it multiple times. Eric Cougar, very good player. Player to look out for next season at SPL. I think he will manage to find his way in. If not, he's going to be a big name in the challenger
For
scene
sure.
at very least. You know, Roasted Napkins, another player. He just was that a triple kill there? He
That
got.
was a triple.
Yep.
It was indeed. And it should be a
He's-
5 gen off that, I expect. By the
He's
looks of
been
how
doing
this
very
game's
well
going.
for himself too. Again, their whole team has performed. They're playing well as a team. You got to give it to Eric Cougar, man, calling the shots. Had a couple, hesitant plays, but they brought it together, and it looks like they're going to carry this one out with the win.
On the losing side, though, for me, and King 4 on that Scylla and the A Pillow.
Yeah,
I'm
those
impressed
are
with their
probably my
performances.
two standout from their team as well. Like you said, A-Pillow A-Pillow had great decision making. Knew when to go in, knew when to get out. Great awareness.
He's
Just
not
look at
got
him
the
right
greatest
there, knowing he
scoreline.
can fight Air Cougar.
Yeah, he's not got the greatest scoreline in the world, but at the same time, like, I think he's made the right sort of decisions. Cougar's played it fantastically, as Bagel said. Like, his rotations have been fantastic, on point. And Bastet's early game with Isis was fantastic too.
All right, thanks, Hindu Man. We're going to throw it to a quick break once again, guys, and we're going to get back into our next game of the Smite 2015 Combine.
Welcome back, boys and girls. We're once again here with a combine of another game, Team Gold Fury versus Team Cupid on your screens right now. Members involved in this one will be Keeper of the Rice, Jawabi, Lopsy, Combipimp, I might have never said that right, Conbim Bip, Bursto, Ob the Worst, Typhra, Miraz, BHD the First, and Razor Ramon. Oh my god, a WWF shout-outs to him. But talking about him, he's in trouble.
Yeah, the perfect route. That route secured it. That is why you don't level up your abilities. Typically, you're going to take the Crush, but right there, the Scylla. Let me see when she leveled it, actually. I kind of want to watch this again. Because
When did she level it? That's a good point.
saving your level is actually one of the smartest things you can do in competitive play.
Well, it's quite quick into this one, so it's not too much of a rewind for us this time around.
Yeah, so she
When
hasn't
does
got
she
it
level
yet. Let's fast forward a little bit here. All right, she sees him.
Still not got it, 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 still not got it. As soon as the knuckle hits,
Knock it,
gets
yeah.
it.
Like that was
Gets it
just
as the
instant.
knuckle hits.
She hits
Instantly.
it. Yeah, she grabs it and uses it instantly. That's an incredible smart play. She waited for it to be secured as well.
On top of that, because obviously if you take that as Scylla early and it doesn't pay off for you, you're putting yourself behind in
Yep,
lane. It's
for
a
sure.
shame they didn't give her the kill, in all fairness. It's not the worst thing in the world to give it a Bastet, though, whose early game is very, very strong. So, one thing I would like to have seen out of Bastet, this is something really, really advanced, though, that a lot of people don't even realise. If Bastet backs straight away after that, she could have had boots online as well.
Level 1 boots. Yeah.
You could have had level 1 boots to go with that Hog, which would have been Hog 2 plus level 1 boots. It's fantastic in the early stages, and you don't necessarily have to go back to base to spend that gold straight away, but you can save it a little bit more as well. So.
Yeah, or even Hog 2, honestly. Like Hog 2
Well, she
or
had
Hog
Hog 2,
1.
so she could have had
Oh,
boots
she did have
to go
Hog
with
2
it.
already. Oh, yeah,
But
definitely.
she could have got boots as well. It would have been amazing.
You definitely wanted those boots then. Just the extra 6% mobility in the jungle would have, like, just... And Hog 2, that would have been... Yeah, that would have been the smart
Yeah,
thing to do.
exactly. So if you ever do that as your jungle, if you're only to get that in the early stages, definitely go back to base if you've got time to. Pick it up. But the start of the game, Razor Ramon, bit of trouble for him. Now, look at the duo lane first of all. Ares and Anher versus Apollo Geb. They should have the push.
Yeah.
For the most part. They've got the aggression in that lane as well, so hopefully we'll see some aggression coming out of that duo lane from the red team.
Yeah.
Left hand side, we're going to be Arachne versus Osiris. Pretty much back and forth in that one too.
Yeah, as long
And
as the Osiris builds tanky early, he should be okay. But the Arachne is actually surprisingly strong, a lot stronger than people give her credit for. And I've actually played against, I actually had the unfortunate instance of playing against BHD's Arachne in solo before.
Oh yeah, you did. I think you went like 0-7 as Loki.
I
if I
stayed
recall.
even. I stayed even. No, but he's an incredible Arachne player. He's going to build this Witchblade first, which is going to do a lot against this Osiris.
Well, I like the decision making coming from Thor. He's the first one to leave lane before the 1 minute 30 wave hits. So does Bastet. Take into account Bastet is still going to be ahead on experience just because she got that first blood. That's going to help her out on the experience side. So keep an eye on her for when she hits 5, because she should realistically hit faster than Thor, unless she doesn't make the correct decisions in terms of jungle clear.
Yeah, they should probably either go right to red or clear. I think I would have rather seen them clear the wave and then go red, because the waves were already about to meet. They may not get the full experience that we're gonna see the Giannis and Thor get.
So what I would really like to see here is once these mid camps start to come up, I want to see Bastet rotate to this duo lane and sort of ignore those mid camps and look for the kill in the duo
Apollo's
lane.
in trouble.
Oh, this play left. This play left. This is really, really nice from the red team. This is what they need to do. They need to go aggressive with this lane matchup. They do exactly that. That was all down to the Hog coming out from Razor Ramon there that set it up, and they just went all in on him. Thor might be able to even clean up this gap.
No, Thor's definitely going to be looking for this speed, but Bastet's going to hear him over the wall there, and probably, yeah, there goes the jump. He's going to have to back off because he was so low, he can't really contest. His dual lane's not really rotating, and they're really just trying to kill this Geb here. And
This
I
is
don't-
interesting. Neither of them have Hog, but Thor's is up sooner, and with Giannis here as well. It's going to be interesting about this one, what's going to actually happen here.
Not enough damage coming out, and now the rotation's coming out from Scylla onto this.
Scylla has I'm a
speed.
monster. She should have immediately went into it. There's two ways to use I'm a monster. There's I'm gonna save it. Oh, Thor gets picked up. Couldn't get the hammer off in time to get out there. This is still a little bit risky from this Bastet with Ares and Giannis in the area, but she's gonna get it and back off. They're giving up mid camps. They just said, we're not contesting mid camps with those backs, and really they probably wouldn't be able to. But Geb smartly realizes that Giannis and Ares are on the left, and he's just going to secure the right. So
Yep.
great
This
map
was-
awareness from him.
For me, Burston made a bit of a misplay in his jungle. He should have been ahead of Thor in terms of experience. By that point, his whole jungle should have been cleared, because Thor's was already cleared too. But Thor went into the enemy jungle after clearing his whole jungle, and Bastet still had that speed buff up. She used the speed on... I guess she used a Hog on the red buff, because she didn't have it available to actually deal with that invasion coming out. She should have had a Hog available there. She should have had Scylla using the red, which she's got. I'm surprised this all went down. Bursto should be ahead of experience in that situation more than she actually was. So that whole invasion should never have happened. And I think Thor misplayed it a little bit as well, in fairness. He could have done better in that situation if he would have waited with the wall. Then Giannis could have got the portal down, and it would have been a free kill onto that Bastet, I feel.
You know, Bastet sort of fell behind. We see the Ares sitting at level 6, and Bastet's only level 5. Ares has found himself a lot of farm. in this game.
Considering he was the first blood in the game, that
Yeah.
can drop your head a little bit, but he's picked up straight away. He's trying to do what he can for his team. He helped secure one of the first kills in the duo lane onto that Apollo and push Geb.
Look at
once again. I
Bastet's
mean, he should
positioning
be
right now.
abusing that
Did you
too.
see where she was sitting? She was sitting in
Oh, she
between-
waited way too
yeah.
long to pull that. She needed to pull that instantly. She's wasting. If she needs to do something here. And the
Oh,
that was
he
a little way. Oh,
Yeah.
BHD's in a good spot to.
Got no
like,
jump yet.
She committed really hard to that, and she should get away here. I don't think anything's gonna come from this, but she's wasted so much time. She's not getting anything off of this right now.
Yeah, she has no low mana.
Combi though.
It's
I
got-
really like Combi what he's doing. He supported this Bastet with the mistakes that Bastet made, and he's trying to support his team. Now we're going to see Keeper the Rice come round as well.
He
and
needs to get
Sinner's
off.
doing really
Yeah.
good work.
Yeah, they're doing great. Ooh, great ult coming out from the Arachne. Yeah, now they're putting the pressure on, but here comes
Ares, though.
Ares. They're not really gonna have anything. Yeah, Bastet's just gonna die.
you know,
And Combi still gets out again. Presence of Mind to turn round
That was great.
and go for the kill.
Scylla's in
Or
a
can
bit
she
of trouble
escape
here.
Giannis?
Ooh,
One auto. Good
ooh,
job.
There it is.
Thor's in the
Alfonso
air.
as well.
Let's see him land here. See if they can turn this around. With the Giannis, they should be able to. Ooh, great tectonic rift.
Geb's dead.
He just locked him in that
Geb
corner.
can't get out
Nowhere
of
to
that one at
go.
all.
Yeah, that was. Oh,
Oh.
I don't know
Oh.
what happened there.
I think that
No, he's
came
going to have to
down
come back
that-
around. The minion wave is going to kill him. Oh. No, he's still dead. He's still dead.
Oh
Hit-
no!
hit them.
Oh
Mraz doesn't have that much
Mraz.
mana.
Mraz!
Oh, but the shields. It
shield!
won't be enough. He has no mana. He can't use Unstable
is this
Vortex.
game?
No!
He's gonna get out. Bastet's actually
What
gonna
is
come
this
in
game?
too.
Oh no!
What is this game?
I
I'm so
I don't know
confused
how
by
that
what
Geb
just happened
escaped. That Geb should not
Oh.
have escaped.
And
Cat's
the
coming up.
cats!
Razor Ramon is dead. There's nowhere for him to go. He actually might pick up a double here.
He's got the
Yeah,
cats
she will
still
because
out,
Giannis
the
has
slow.
nothing.
Yeah.
Giannis has nothing.
He
How long
doesn't. He
will the
didn't want
cats
to
live?
commit though.
I
didn't know
think
where
that was the
everybody
right
else was.
decision.
Mhm.
They
It
knew they were in
almost-
that area.
It almost turned into a cast at me because it was such a crazy play of plays. I like Geb's decision though. Right now, he stuck around for the mid harpies. He didn't go back. He had his hog available. He should have gone back, but it was the right decision to stay around. He had to be
You
very
can
careful.
you can
but
do
he had
that
map
if you are
awareness.
very map aware.
Exactly. So map awareness on that Geb was showing through on that one.
So, really, let's break that down a little bit. What do we think went wrong there for the blue team?
The speed buff got reset twice by Bastet. She went for the steal once, it went wrong. She went for the steal twice, it got reset again. And then by that time, the Geb rotated round, but so did Ares. And,
I think
you know,
the Bastet played it poorly, but I think the rest of her team played it very well.
Yeah, I really respect the Scylla play coming out. It takes a lot
To commit to
to
stuff.
commit to your team and really back them up. I mean, there's some competitive teams that don't even do that well. And the
But he's
Scylla
in-
really showed that they
Map
were going
awareness.
to play for the team.
map awareness from that combi, but also presence of mind with his abilities was
Right.
very, very good throughout that whole engagement.
Mhm.
You saw him go into that fight, knowing what abilities he could use. He knew what his teammates needed to support him to keep them alive, because he kept Bastet alive in the first instance
Right.
when she got caught out of position. Then he stuck around because they know the speed buff was still available, and then on the disengage, he still had the presence of mind to turn around and go aggressive onto the Arachne and force Arachne away from going for the kill on her. She did that in the end to Giannis, but you can't do everything sometimes.
Yeah, we're gonna see Ares rotating over to the duo lane here, and they might have an opportunity to pick up a couple of quick, easy kills. The blink comes out.
Ooh,
Ares gets
great
hit.
mez.
I don't know. Is it gonna be enough to keep him alive though? They're not gonna commit to it. No
Yeah,
ultimate
they-
will come out.
The Ares ultimate there would have just forced Apollo's ult, and he probably wouldn't have got too much damage on it. He probably wants to save it for rotation, which it looks like that's what he's doing right now. He's looking for a rotation, looking for another big team fight to turn around like he did earlier.
If his team could get in the right sort of position, though, and he can manage to burn Apollo and Gebel at the same time, then they could go for a Gold Fury.
Yes,
Which
that's
is
true.
something he should be looking for. At the moment, though, he's only got Hog 1 because he invested in Blink. I understand that as an Ares player. You want to get the Blink online so you can make the big plays, but it does delay your Hog 3 a little bit, so not always that full potential to be able to go for the fast Gold
Yeah, it's
Fury
kind of a
straight
matter of
after.
how useful is it going to be early. Geb's backing. Red did a great job there. So what they kind of did is they were waiting to see if the Geb backed. They saw he didn't,
Needs to
so they
back.
pulled off Gold Fury. If he backed, Red would have pounced on
Yep.
that.
He needs to back as well, though. He's got 1,000 gold as an inventory. He
Yeah.
should be getting his Hog 3 right
Mid
about
camps
now.
are coming
He
up,
needs
though.
to get
Camps.
wards as well. Ward coverage is terrible right now coming out from the blue team. Just going to check wards overall as well. What have we got coming out of blue team? 5 from Geb, 2 from Osiris in the solo lane, and 2 from Bastet. Only 1 on the Scylla, none on Apollo.
Yeah.
Kind of fine for the Hunters not to be getting them. 2 on Scylla is okay.
This is an interesting decision here. They're going to look to fight for these right Harpies. Good knockback.
I think they have a really good fight there.
He's zoning them out.
Yeah.
But he uses all in Arachne's rotating in. This
I think he wanted to fight, but the Scylla just wanted to secure the free
Right.
camps.
Well, they did force Apollo ult on the left-hand side as well for Ares ult, by the way. No, they're not even for Ares ult. Oh, that's big. Apollo does lose his ultimate. He's on low health. This could be a possibility for them to go
Oh, nice
for an
rush.
engagement in mid
Rush.
now.
That was just a lot of damage all in one. It was the bleed from Bastet. It was the
Ares
knockup
rotation?
from Geb. Yeah, and
And
the
Hedrick
crush
come
from
along.
Scylla.
Yeah, I almost didn't agree with that cat call at first, but he had the follow-up to, make that slow pay off. And that's really all it was at that point.
No one,
The
no
cat
one
call
can,
was a
no one
slow.
can follow this up. Giannis is gonna try, but I don't think he's gonna be able to. Ooh, that was actually a lot more damage than I
That's nice.
thought. Whew, chains do so much.
That was I feel that was a miskill there. Ares could have ulted that.
Yeah.
That should have been a kill. If
definitely
Ares
could've been a
ulted there, it should have been death.
Yeah, Bastet does get the speed this time, uncontested. The Arachne's gonna come through. I just walked straight by each other.
Yeah, she knew she wasn't going to get anything there and saw that the speed buff was taken. So just try to play it safe a little bit, get a little bit of farm, and just make sure that they know that that speed buff is down.
This dual lane is being so aggressive. There's nowhere for this Apollo to go. The chain's going to cripple him, keep his dash. And this dual lane is doing exactly what they need to do. They're abusing Ares and looking for early kills.
Yeah, they're running a really good kill lane right now.
I feel I've not really seen Thor do much with his ultimate so far.
No, not
You know,
really.
he's not really gone for the opportunity for it. Well, let's see how the Godfrey plays out and see if he can make something happen here, because Geb's here alone.
This is
Trying to ward up
yeah.
and put pressure on.
I'm a
Oh, I
monster
think
coming
that's
to...
all Scylla.
Oh, split the uprights.
That's all Scylla. Scylla did all the work in that fight. In fairness, Jawabi was slightly out of position. In fairness,
Good
there's
stuff
an ult
coming
coming out
out.
from Thor though.
Thor's in trouble. He should be okay here. He's going to get out. There's no one really to clean up. Meanwhile, Arachne actually
Oh,
rotated
I reckon his
in.
body block.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness
Was it-
me, that body block was
All
really
right,
good.
let's
Watch
rewind
that
that a
body
little
block
bit.
him. Thanks to the help of the pillar as well together, she realised that all she had to do was stand still, and she does that perfectly. Watch this. Fast forward a little bit more, it takes a little bit longer for the whole rotation. You can start now, slow it down.
Yep.
You'll see the rotation right now. So Bastet comes in with the cats to go on her, but then she just stands there. Watch this against the wall with the cats as well. They
Oh,
just
yeah.
surround her into the wall, so she can't do anything.
Good job coming out.
Really good decision.
Really strong
Not just
rotation.
from Arachne, but that's from Trifer as well. That was really good from both of them to realise the benefit of body blocking, which a lot of people don't realise.
Yeah, so
Can Apollo
Osiris...
do something?
I mean, that was
Wrong
really
decision.
good there. They forced him to reset, and now they're going to have to disengage. Osiris is rotating into the fight, too. Arachne alt forced out. Now they should be able to go for this gold if they don't chase too hard.
Yeah,
I would
no
really
one.
like to
no,
see them
this
do
is
this.
this is free. They're all backing. There's no way. Yeah, they're committed to not fighting in this. Razor Ramon on this area is going to come through. His blink is not online though. He's not going to get there in time. So that was a great job from Blue, recognizing that they forced all of Red back and were able to secure that.
Yep. And that's
I
something
think
that
just
we
to see
have
from
not
both.
seen in this tournament yet, right? We haven't really seen the communication to not chase those kills and try to force them out when they're already forced out, and they went for that Gold Fury right away.
Can we rewind a little bit just to the Arachne rotation one more time? We can fast forward straight through it. Just keep an eye on Osiris in the solo lane, because Osiris stays in this lane after Arachne rotates. He goes back to base. I want to see what he chose to do.
He
I
teleports.
feel like-
Mid. He buys teleport and goes mid.
He buys teleport and goes mid to get back to this fight. I like that call from him. I was interested to see how he got to this fight at the time he did, because he makes an influence to getting the Gold Fury in the end. Because at first I was like,
Yeah,
did he push
just
out the
comes
solo
in
lane
and-
first?
and forces the Arachne out.
Mm-hmm.
And he's
Interesting,
there
because like,
yeah.
it's a one for in weird ways a 1-for-1 exchange, because Arachne does help to get the kill, but then Osiris gets to get the Gold Fury for his team, which in all honesty is a bigger benefit for his team.
Yeah, definitely. And the game, you look at the kills and it's dead even, but the players have a pretty nice gold lead on the blue team, and that really just comes down to that last engagement and being able to get the Gold Fury.
Standout players so far. I mean, we're looking through it at the moment. We've been in game for about 12.5 minutes now. Who are you feeling? What's your verdicts, boys?
I'm really liking the support play coming out from Geb. He he's been able to stay alive in the fights. He's been using his ult to not only zone but put out the damage when he needs to, and it's really a different play style almost coming out from the Geb. It's very aggro, very in your face, and he's using that ult to make sure his team is okay.
He's also very map aware, and he knows when he can go back in. Like, you saw him just walk back up to those mid camps. He was not worried at all about the team because of the wards that were placed, and he knew he could get away with it at no health, securing mid camps.
We're watching Ares right now trying to collapse, but he's getting collapsed on himself in this situation. Those cats should be able
he's
to bring
gonna
him
die
down,
there.
I think. Yeah, Cat's going to take his life away.
Anhur's in a bad spot. This Bastet needs to just turn. The Anhur's jump is down. Oh, that was a really nice
That
portal
portal
coming
was
out from
big.
Miraz.
Miraz played a really good portal there. That was actually huge for the team. They're all standing off to fight for some reason. I don't know why. There's only left-hand Harpies really
Yeah,
up here.
there's no Gold Fury. Unless you feel like you have the fight uncontested, it probably shouldn't be going for it.
This is what this feels like. They're zoning for a Gold Fury, but there's no Gold Fury to do, so... Fighting instead of farming? I don't know. It seems a bit wasted time here from both teams, to be fair.
We'll see the Anhur jump away here.
All right, guys. So, again, we're getting around this 14-15 minute mark. Things are starting to go towards one team's favor. So we're gonna ask the scout a little bit about what he felt went on during this game and get a little bit of his input. That scout is Herwin. Herwin, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fine, thanks, Adonis. How about yourself?
Adonis.
Yeah,
Adonis.
That was Pecky.
all
That
good.
was. We're done. Get the scout off here.
Horrid,
What's the
don't
problem?
worry.
What's the problem? I don't understand.
Don't worry, they sound the same. It doesn't really make a difference. They're
That's
both
right.
exactly the same sort of
That's
person anyway.
right.
They're production scrubs. Don't worry, Herowind.
All right, Herwin.
Bye-bye.
So, who was your standout players? What do you think went well for them, and what they do to really stand out to you?
I think on Team Cupid, I think Miraz was a very good player. I have the pleasure of sitting in the comms a little bit and listening to how they communicate. Great communicator. He had a couple missed opportunities. I'm not gonna say that he played everything perfectly, but I think in general he lands his abilities quite well. His words are good. He talks well. Trifa, also another standout player on that team. Honestly, much better UC than I could ever be. Great at landing his autos. Good at not getting caught out of position. I do think that these teams are like stagnating a lot around objectives, and they're just getting punished back and forth.
I mean, some of that can come down to the fact that they've not worked as a team before as well. I guess,
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
not showing each other's place. What out of interest? I mean, you mentioned Miraz because obviously you're a mid laner yourself, and we've seen your
of
competitive
course,
play.
yeah.
So that's going to be the sort of go-to. What did you think about the Scylla from this playstyle as well? Because she was my sort of standout on the blue team.
I see this Scylla, and I see a lot of Scyllas building this Warlock sash, and I see them. I get this feeling that they're just trying to like imitate stealth, because this is the build he does, and if you're gonna imitate stealth, you also got to play like he's playing. And I don't think this Scylla is exactly doing that. I think that she needs to not hesitate so much and take advantage of opportunities. Watch for her teammates' crowd control abilities. Try to combo off that. Maybe that'll help you land your abilities. Scylla can win games. If you land your big ults, and you land all your abilities. But there's just a lot being missed here.
I saw she was hitting some good roots and crush combos, but I do have to agree. Like, there's kind of two things that happen with Scylla. You either immediately ult and catch people offhand, or you have to wait for the setup.
Right.
That's exactly correct.
And she was kind of doing the in between.
So, you have the opportunity to be in comms with these players and sort of listen to how they're communicating, what they're talking about. Is there anybody that really shines on either team, or maybe somebody that doesn't shine when it comes to communication? How do these players communicate?
I was mostly listening into Team Cupid. And I think that
Which is red team, yeah? As you see on
which
the
is the
screen,
red
guys, just so
team.
you know.
Yes, correct. And I think actually most of the players, the Thor was really good at communicating, and Janus was very good at communicating. So you could see, like early on, you could see that they're very good about sharing camps and being with each other. But there was a distinct lack of communication, from the duo and the Soul Lane.
Okay.
Like you didn't really know what was going on in Soul. You didn't know when he was rotating in. The support kind kind of had a bad attitude. I don't want to talk too much about it, but
Okay.
Right,
it kind of brought
understandable.
team morale down.
Mhm.
And you could kind of feel it from that side of the map. So I think most of the good communication and the shot calling was coming from the middle of the map, from the jungler and the mid lane.
All right, very
Awesome.
How did you? Because me and Pecky's kind of felt the same way, that we thought the Geb player played it pretty well. How did you feel about him and his play style?
I think the Gab did play very well also. I think he's definitely a standout player on that team. You could tell like he was the one shot calling, and he was always where he needed to be. Good ults, good knockups, shields were on point.
All right, very, very good. You know, we're right around like 18 minutes. Who really starts to take control of this game and carries it out to the late game?
I think generally at this point in the game is when the souls are entering the game and
Right.
they're impacting the game a lot.
Yeah,
And the ADCs are starting to finish chins and things like that.
Okay.
So those are generally the players that will accelerate the team fights
I
and like stand out.
I do want to talk. How did you feel? We haven't really been able to watch the Soul lane. It was a very stalemated lane. How do they translate into late game? Which one stood out to you coming late game? The Osiris or BHD on the Arachne?
It's actually pretty close because they're both finishing chin size, I believe, around this time
Mhm.
or a little bit later.
Mhm.
So you see them really being the main aggressors in the team fights. And actually neither one I don't really think takes control, but I think in the end, like comparatively, the Osiris probably ended up doing more.
Okay.
But they both did the job. It seems like when I'm watching them on the map, for the most part, they're following each other's movements pretty well, which is a
They
good
are,
thing.
yes.
It's a good sign from a solo lane to make sure you transition when the enemy one does. So
You don't see one of the solo laners sitting on the other side of the map winning a team fight while the other one pushes. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So that's good.
That's good. Good to hear. Well, thanks for your time, Horrywin. I hope the rest of the scouting goes well for you.
Yeah,
'Cause at the moment,
absolutely. Thank you very much for having me.
information is definitely appreciated.
Awesome.
I'm not Adonis Herwind, okay?
I'm
He is.
Adonis. I'm Adonis.
What's the problem? That's what it says for me.
We're
I'm-
done. All right, get him off here. We're done.
Get out of here.
All right,
Adonis.
we're cutting to a quick break,
Oh,
guys.
okay,
Thank you.
okay. I see how it is.
We're gonna come back with the next game in the 2015 Smite Combine.